Hi, my name's Todd Huber, and I'm the director here at the Skateboarding Hall of Fame, and I'm a skateboard collector for 33 years. I really got into collecting skateboards because I realized there was no end. You know, if you collect lunch pails, you can get a book that tells you every single lunch pail and every variation of every lunch pail ever made. And you can get every one of them and have every one. With skateboarding, for the longest time, they were homemade. And so because of that, I got intrigued because there's no way that any collector could ever get every single board. It's just not possible. Once I started collecting, I started realizing nobody, at least in my area, is really collecting these old skateboards yet because they're pretty much really easy to find at the swap meets, at garage sales, at the Goodwill, like places that you would think you'd find them. And this is like 1988, 1989, and it became addicting. One of the best things about the museum, this giant wall, which is like an evolution of skateboards, starting with the first homemade boards, but I put this board front and center because everybody comes in and goes, where's the Black Knight? And there it is. And so I put it right in the middle because people always had that board. And I remember back in the day, they were like $9.99 at Thrifties. And they're terrible, like the wheels are clay, but everybody had a Black Knight. A lot of times it's harder for me to find a board from 1982 than it is from 1965. Because the boards in the earlier time of skateboarding weren't very skatable, so they survived. But when boards started to become rideable in the late 70s, when they started getting fatter, like these Alva boards, and they had grip tape and kicktails and good wheels and they turned good, they got beat into the ground. Like you skated it, your little brother skated it, and they didn't survive. So when you find a board like this in cherry condition, that's like usually like some kid that like broke his arm and stuck it in a closet. And as you go down the wall, it's harder and harder to find the boards because they were fun to ride, they were skatable, and they got ripped to the ground. Which is why I always say we, as skateboarders of today, owe them so much gratitude because they went through the crappy equipment and kept going. I have a great memory of my first skateboard because my buddy had asked me to go look for skateboards, and that weekend I found one. It was called the Surf In, the letter N, Suzi, S-U-Z-I. And I've only found one other since then, and that was like 1988. It's actually on that wall. It's the red one, second row down with two white stripes. It's got a black dot on it. That's it right there, and I bought it at the Ventura Flea Market. But many of these boards, what I call survivors, you can tell they've been ridden. And in that case, there's great stories, you know, and especially if you get a board that was like owned by Dwayne Peters. And I have a board in the back that was Dwayne Peters' board that he wrote on the first cover of Concrete Wave magazine. Sometimes people ask me, what's your most favorite board? And I've heard this from other collectors. They usually just say, whichever one I just got, because they're excited about it. I just got this board yesterday, and it's one of those ones called the tuck and roller, which is, it's auto upholstery with a cushion, kind of cool thing. It had a skid plate, which I don't think had ever been done, and the trucks are adjustable. You could slide them back and forth and change the position. But what was unique about this one is I got it from the original owner, and I won't read you the whole letter, but she wrote me a really cool letter. She talked about how she won this in 1967 by naming the local skate park, and her name idea was called Surf on Wheels, and she won this skateboard as a prize. And then Patty McGee, who was the first woman inducted into the Skateboarding Hall of Fame, she came to the skate park and signed this to, her name was Joanne, and said, I hope to have a board as nice as yours someday. And the girl wrote me this story and sent me the letter that Patty signed when she won the skateboard. The collection here never ends, which is why I'm collecting skateboards. And it can be frustrating now. When I first started, there was no eBay. So I was like pretty much getting all the boards. Now people realize the value, they're reselling them. It's not as fun for me as it used to be. I don't have a duffel bag anymore that I used to have to bring to the swap meet to fill up with boards. Every time I see a board, especially a board from the 60s, the older 60s boards, that I've never seen before, I get excited. Steve Caballero was just here and he said, do you have any kids? And I said, no, why? He goes, where's all this stuff gonna go when you're gone? And it was a great question, and I said, well, I hope to leave it in the museum someday. I don't want to die and leave this all on my wife. I want it to end up in a museum, wherever that is, forever. So one thing people may not know, I've been running this as a nonprofit now for about the last 7 years. And I think that's important for people to know. It's tax deductible. And one family gave us $7,500 and paid for the whole ramp so we could have a ramp in here and donated the money. The Skateboarding Hall of Fame actually started in 2009. First ceremony where we actually had inductees and a ceremony, and it was actually at the Van Skate Park in Orange. just because Mr. Vanderen offered it up. They've always been really supportive. And so we did it again in 2010. It skipped a year in 2011, and then it went all the way until 2019, skipped 2020. In 2021, we did 2 years in a row. So we just had our 12th ceremony. Every single event has been great, and everyone's been meaningful, but the last one was by far the best one. The people in the Hall of Fame, the skaters, the best skaters are very driven people. You know, R.I.P. Mark Waters, he sorted it out. He made a list. He took every skateboarder that you've ever heard of, that has ever been in any contest, any magazine, any TV show that was possible, and said, will this person get in the Hall of Fame? Yes, no, or maybe. And put that vote in front of the best minds in skateboarding, and just started the elimination process. I kind of just made it enough here to where you believe it's a museum, you know what I mean? But when I get a chance to unpack, I'm gonna fucking blow people away. I swear to God, I'm gonna. I did a little Christian Hosoi zone up there. I just like Christian Hosoi. We got that jacket, it's cool. Just Pal Peralta wall right there. So back here, my deck collection right here. You know, I see right off the top, here's the Tim Broch, which is really nice. And signed from 1998. And he came to my skate park, and he's like, dude, you don't have one of my boards. I'm like, oh no, we didn't carry Santa Cruz. He's like, I'll go get you one. I never met him before. Went to the car and autographed it in 1998 and gave it to me, which is pretty cool. So, and you know, it's funny because there's Tim Broch, but I also see just below it another skater that's not with us anymore, John Comer, signed, which is cool. Thanks for the funny rights, John Comer, R.I.P. So that's just, I mean, those are newer decks in my collection, but some of the older ones are like these Logans. I just pulled these out because I bought this whole set in 2016 and didn't open it till like 2 days ago. And it's every single Logan they made. And there's 10 models, and they're all brand new oak. And they sat in a workshop in Canada for 40 years. And I got them in 2016. Brian Logan, who the founder of Logan Erskine, he got 2 sets, and I bought one and he had one. And he was asking me about it. I said, you know, I never even opened mine. And just like this week, I just opened it. This is like my stuff. Like I see this tub says vintage skateboard clothing, and it's like you go in here, it's gonna be all like, all like rad shit. Like here, I see right here. It's like a Hobie jersey. I don't know if you remember these from the 70s. This shit's hard to come by nowadays. Here, now these are rare as fuck right here. These are really hard to get, man. People go ape shit for these. Sims, this is a Sims jersey. Pure Juice wheels, Tom Sims, R.I.P. in the Hall of Fame. But these are really nice. They have padded, and they're hard to get, man. They really are. And so that's what I'm talking about. These badass jerseys are stuffed in a tub. This is vintage skateboard clothing. Like, why isn't this shit on display? You know, and it's twofold. One, I'm a one-man band, and two, it takes money to do this shit. And I don't want to just staple it on the wall. I want it to be done proper and appreciated and there forever. Forever. Like skateboarding, I always say this, skateboarding deserves it. But I realized a long time ago, Simi Valley isn't the place where the museum needs to be. If I really want to share this passion with everyone, it has to get out of here and somewhere more accessible to the world. I've been talking to a few important people that I think can help make it be what it deserves to be. And people, from my experience over the last couple of years, seem to have their sights set on the Olympics coming to LA 2028, which gives us, 6 years, and I think it's doable. I'm not really an Orange County dude, I'm from here, but I want to just go wherever this place should go. And if it doesn't work, I'll keep selling skateboards. I grip boards all day. I grip so many boards. Since this place has been open, I probably gripped 5,000 boards over the last 3 years. And it was cool going from running like a business with 8 or 10 people running a skate park to starting this place by myself, because now I build skateboards all day.